Okay, I'm going to run through our agenda really quick with you all to give you a roadmap to our session today. You'll see the list of agenda items on your screen. I'm going to go over the Bama Link grant and partnership briefly. I want to showcase the available Bama by Distance degree programs that you can enroll in and complete online or primarily online. I will go over the basic admission requirements for those degrees, and I will also discuss resources for distance learning students, UA facts, additional information, and then most importantly, the question and answer period. So if you have any questions while we're talking about things in the session, feel free to use the chat box down at the bottom of your screen like I demonstrated a little earlier with the tech support number. So if you think of a question and you'd like to go ahead and type it out, please feel free to do so. We, like Claire just demonstrated, thank you Claire, we will address your questions at the end of the session. We are recording the session so that your colleagues who couldn't join us today will get a recording, as well as all of you. Anyone who registered for the session will get the recorded session link in about a week or so, as well as the presentation slides and resources. So don't feel like you have to take exhaustive notes, because you will receive all this information in an email soon. But so since the session is recorded, I will read your questions out loud, and then we will address them so that the question and answer piece of this presentation is preserved as well for you to go back and reference if need be. And with that, I will launch right into our presentation. So the Bama Link grant, this is new. This is still pretty new. We started this last April, and the Bama Link partnership, the purpose of this partnership is to connect community college students in Alabama who are getting ready to graduate from their community colleges, getting those associate degrees, and for those of you who already have your roots down in your community, so you're not really looking to physically move anywhere, or you need the convenience of an online format to complete your bachelor's degree. We have some great resources here. We have some wonderful online degree programs that are exactly the same as those that we offer on campus. They're just delivered in an online format. So we wanted to connect these resources with those of you who would most benefit from an online degree program and finishing a bachelor's degree online from the University of Alabama. So that's how the partnership evolved, and a big piece of the partnership is the Bama Link grant. This grant is basically our gift to you for enrolling and choosing Bama by Distance and choosing that online degree program with us. So the only requirements to receive this grant is that you have your associate degree from an Alabama community college, and that can be an Associate of Arts, Science, Applied Science. As long as it's an associate degree, you qualify. And you're enrolling in an online degree program. That's the other component. And you would be needing to be pursuing your first bachelor's degree. So if you have a bachelor's already, unfortunately, this grant would not be for you. But we have other opportunities, which we'll discuss later in the session. And the grant covers one 3-credit-hour course. Now, that for an undergraduate course in current terms, the current term rate, that would be it's $1,065. So you get that knocked off the top just for enrolling with us. You don't have, there's no GPA requirement. There aren't any other hoops to jump through. You would get that for enrolling. That's on top of any other scholarships or grants that you're eligible for, financial aid. You can use all of that online with us here. So it is a one-time award. So if you receive the Bama Link grant, it would only be during the first semester of your enrollment. And like I was saying, you can also apply for financial aid and UA scholarships. And the Bama Link grant application process is very simple. When you learn of your admission status, if you have already applied for admission to UA and you have your campus-wide identification number or CWID sent back to you in an email, you can go ahead and contact me. And of course, I'll have my contact information up at the end of the session. But if you've gotten that far in the admission process, you can definitely go ahead and reach out to me. Or of course, at the very latest, when you find out if you're admitted, you can ask me for the grant application. I will email that to you, and it's a form PDF, so you can open the PDF and just input your information, type right on the form, save it and email it back to me, or scan it and send it, fax it, snail mail it, whatever works best for you to send that grant application in. I will review it to make sure you're eligible, and that might include me reaching out to your registrar's office and seeing, when your associate degree was conferred, if that's not in the National Student Clearinghouse database. And as soon as I see that you're eligible, I will pass that along to our accounts receivables office, and they will post the grant funds to your account. So that's how it works, and I let you know every step of the way what's going on with it. And you can absolutely contact me if you have any questions about the status of your grant application. Now, we do have some deadlines posted for the Bama Link grant. These are priority deadlines I like to think of, because if, for example, our next upcoming term for admission is spring. So if you get your Bama Link grant to me, you've already applied for spring and you've been admitted, and you get that Bama Link grant to me no later than December 1st, it is extremely likely that your grant application will have enough time to be processed and any grant funds posted to your account before the deadline to pay and confirm your schedule. Because you certainly don't want to miss that deadline. If you, for some reason, you aren't able to get your application to me before that priority deadline, you don't have to worry about not being eligible to receive the Bama Link grant, because I can make that award retroactively. You just have to, don't wait on the Bama Link grant to post in order to pay and confirm your schedule, because your courses will be dropped, and we don't want that to happen to anyone. You work hard to get in those classes, and we want to make sure you guys keep the classes that you want. So just keep those deadlines in mind. Abiding by these deadlines helps you more than anything, but I will make it work. So if you miss it, there's no need to panic. Just let me know. And that's all I have about the Bama Link grant until you guys have questions, which I'm sure you will. So now I will transition into talking about our Bama by Distance degree programs. So for those of you who don't know, we have degrees at the bachelor's, master's, education specialist, and doctoral levels in either a completely online or partially online format. So like I was saying, those formats are online, and the bulk of our bachelor's degree programs are completely online with a couple of exceptions, which we'll go over in a second. We also have blended programs where there's some usually weekend campus attendance in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and also through our Gadsden Center location, but most of those are at the master's level or above, but something to keep in mind for later. Excuse me. So on your screen, you'll see a list of all of the bachelor's degrees that we currently offer in an online or distance learning format. There are a lot of options here, and we're always hoping to increase those offerings, but for now, these are the ones that we have. You'll notice that the bulk of our degree programs come from the College of Human Environmental Sciences. That's what HES stands for. And if you'll remember that Samantha Brockett, our enrollment counselor who's in the session, works with the degree programs in that college, and she's a great resource. So if any of you are interested in those degrees, Samantha would be the person you need to talk to. Excuse me, sorry. So we have, through the College of Human Environmental Sciences, there are some options in consumer sciences with a concentration in consumer affairs or in family financial planning and counseling. There are also a few options through early childhood education or human development and family studies. So there's a concentration in early childhood development. We also have the Child Development Practitioner program, and that's for people who are already working in Head Start agencies. And we also have the concentration in child life. So if you're looking to be a child life specialist, that would be the degree for you. And we also have a general studies program, which gives you some flexibility in picking your coursework. And we have the hospitality management program. There's a bachelor's and a master's in that online, as well as the BS in food and nutrition, which is one of the only online programs in the country that is accredited by Ascend, the organization that provides the test for registered dietitians. So if you go through our online BS in Food and Nutrition program, it leads to becoming a registered dietitian eventually. And we also have an online BS in nursing. So if you have your RN degree, your ADN, and your RN license from your community college, you can enroll in the RN to BSN program, or you can enroll RN to BSN to MSN, and you just go straight through until you have your Master of Science in Nursing. And all of that can be done in your community. Any clinicals, that can be set up where you live, so you still don't have to come to campus to participate in that. There's also a BS in Commerce and Business Administration, a general business focus. So those of you who have the business background at your community college, that would be a great degree to go into and to receive that bachelor's degree. And you get a sampling of all of the different departments within the College of Business through that degree. So you really have a well-rounded degree at the end of it. And then our two exceptions to being completely online. First, there's the BA or the BS in Interdisciplinary Studies, which we call our new College Life Track program. It's blended in that you have to come to campus for a 2-day orientation at the beginning of your time being enrolled, and then the rest of your coursework is online. And it's just like it sounds. You have choices in how you focus your coursework since it is an interdisciplinary studies degree. So you can take courses from many different colleges on campus, and you do have to be at least 25 to enroll in that program. And there is prior learning assessment done. So if you have an Associate of Applied Arts or Science, this is the only degree program at Alabama that will evaluate those credits for possible transfer. So that might be a really great option. And then last but certainly not least, we do have a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. It is primarily online because it requires weekend class meetings either in Tuscaloosa, Troy University's campus in Dothan, or through our Gadsden Center. And that involves some lab hours. So those are our degree programs. And our admission requirements is the same as if you were coming to campus for a campus-based degree program. So you're going to need at least a 2.0 transfer GPA on all college-level coursework. Now, if you have at least 24 credit hours of transfer work, and that doesn't include remedial courses or anything like that, you would need what UA is terming college-level credit. If you have at least 24 credit hours, which if you take 12 credit hours per term, that's about 2 semesters worth of work if you're going full-time, then you would only need to send in your college transcripts. Excuse me. You would not need to send in your high school transcripts or your ACT or SAT scores. And if you've attended any other colleges besides your current community college, you would need to send those transcripts in as well. As part of the admission process, the registrar's office does need to see all of your transcripts individually. Even if you have coursework listed on your current transcript from other institutions, they do have to see them individually. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you have less than 24 credit hours at your community college, or period so far, from any institution, you would need to send in your high school transcripts, and they're looking for at least a 2.5 minimum high school GPA. And if you have graduated high school less than 4 years ago, you would also need to send your ACT or SAT scores. But if it's been 4 years or more since you've completed high school, you would not have to send those scores in. But just remember, if you have at least 24 credit hours of work, all you have to worry about are college transcripts. And if you're Bama Link eligible, that would mean that you have your associate degree, and you should be covered by that anyway. And now I'm going to hand the presentation over to Claire for her to share with you the resources available to distance learning students through Student Services.
Thank you so much, Brandi. Students, as distance learners, you will have access to the same exact resources available to campus students. That's always something that students like to hear. You're eligible to apply for financial aid, for federal financial aid, and students are eligible who are who have the military educational assistance, you're eligible to use those benefits here at the University of Alabama as well. Distance learners also have access to university library resources, including access to the scholarly databases, assistance with writing and citation, and tools and tips for research in the interlibrary loan program. There's even a dedicated distance learning librarian on staff to assist students as they navigate the library resources. We also have at the University of Alabama what we call the Writing Center, which offers online assistance and tutoring to students who are unable to visit the campus location. So there is online options for the Writing Center as well. We also have what we call the Center for Academic Success, which provides individualized tutoring, study skills workshops, and even exam reviews through the web-based methods to meet the needs of distance learning students. We also have Blackboard tutorials that are available for students who have never taken an online course, and we've even added a new student orientation that we call Bama Ready. Distance learning students do pay a flat hourly tuition rate regardless of their residency. The rate does not include any applicable course fees or books though, so you can see that rate up there on the screen. Students have the option to purchase access to the Student Health Center and the Student Recreation Center. The College of Continuing Studies also offers scholarships to students who are enrolled in degree programs, and that's facilitated through the College of Continuing Studies. You must be currently admitted or accepted for admission in order to apply for these scholarships, but applications are accepted year-round and scholarships are awarded each semester. So if you don't necessarily start in the fall, you can still apply for a scholarship. And now I'd like to just share some information about the university as a whole. The University of Alabama was established in 1831 as the state's first public college. Approximately 38,000 students currently attend the University of Alabama, with about 5,500 of those students enrolled in graduate programs, and 4,800 of those are enrolled in distance learning programs. We're accredited and we are a reputable institution. As a reminder, students, this session is being recorded today for your convenience. In the next few days, you will receive an email with all of this information that includes important website addresses and contact information, as well as a link to this recorded session. So you'll get the slides and the session. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Brandi to start the question and answer session.
Thank you so much, Claire. Okay, like Claire said, if any of you have questions, now is the time. Feel free to start typing in the chat box at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We'll read them aloud and answer them and hopefully have a good answer for you. So feel free to start asking us questions if you have them. You're welcome, Stacey. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Leanne has a question. Do UA employees receive educational benefits for Bama by Distance? Yes, Leanne, the same educational benefits that you receive for if you're enrolled in a campus program, it's the same policy through HR. So if you're a UA employee and you have your associate degree from an Alabama community college and you're wanting to get that first bachelor's degree, you're definitely eligible for the tuition benefit here at Alabama, and that's you know, one course free during each semester enrolled, and then the remainder of your tuition is half price. So A lot of us take advantage of that because that's a pretty sweet deal. But you're eligible for that, and you're also eligible for the Bama Link grant. If you meet the eligibility requirements for Bama Link, regardless of the educational benefit here at UA provided for the policy set by HR, then you're eligible for both. So. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, then let me just thank you all again for joining us today. Like Claire mentioned, you will all get the recording of this session, as well as the PowerPoint slides and the resource page with contact information for different UA offices within about a week. If you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions about Bama Link. I'm definitely your person. If you have questions about any of the degree programs, especially HES programs, you can contact Samantha. Her information is here on the screen. And that number listed for Samantha is the number for Bama by Distance Student Services. So if you're not sure which degree program or it was different than an HES program, you can call that number and we will get you in contact with the appropriate enrollment counselor who can help you talk through the different degree programs and explain the different requirements and, you know, all the specifics. So please feel free to reach out to us and have a wonderful weekend and roll Tide.